3 a.m. in the morning. I'm sitting
That's into right field. Long run for Pilar. And Pilar all out into foul territory to make the play.
Bogarts with a drive out to right field. Judge is back on it, and that one's gone.
Against all odds. Here's a high fly ball driven deep to right. Verdugo back to the pen. Leaps up. He caught it. He caught the ball. He took it back.
And I will keep on waiting for a better day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pesky Poll Podcast. My name is Robert, your host. As every single week, how you guys doing today? I apologize already for this episode being out a day late. We had some trouble. I actually had to work. Full different thing. Trying to hold down another job while doing this and school. A little bit of a killer. I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday when you see this. Joining me today, we have a host that you have seen twice now. This is third time. Host of the Fumble Rooski podcast. I was just on their podcast. If you guys like football, you need to go check it out. My boy, Adam Wright. Adam, what's going on today?
We're doing well. School's a drag, but
That's an understatement.
Yeah. So much work, then the podcast and everything. So, it's such a, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you guys know I'm doing my schoolwork. I'm doing all these podcasts. I'm doing this twice a week. I go on Adam's show, like you'll see on Thursday. We're releasing both these episodes, hopefully at the same time if I get them processed. You guys will see I'm on that show. I'm doing other guest appearances on podcasts and all that other stuff. So you guys will see this face everywhere, hopefully, sometime soon. But with that being said, let's not wait any longer. Let's get right into the episode. For the YouTube people, you get to see this beautiful face as is every week. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe. Adam, don't want to hear it from you, all right? You're the single one here.
For now.
Yeah. Keep talking. All right. And if you can see in the back, there is Adam's roommate, Justin, who's just, popping his head in every once in a while.
He's just enjoying the show.
Yeah. We have live studio audience. But
yeah, he gets to watch it live.
Mm-hmm. YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe, hit those notifications. You get to see every time I go live twice a week. Spotify and iTunes gang, I never forget about you guys. Same thing. Make sure you hit that follow button. We've been blowing up on Spotify and iTunes and Google Play. My numbers in January were more than my numbers in December, November, October, and September combined. And we're only 10 days into February, and I've almost surpassed my January numbers. So I can't thank my Spotify and iTunes gang enough. Adam's dying over there. It's nothing new. You got anything to say to the people before we get started?
Follow the Fumble Rooski podcast.
Mm-hmm. And we got a little bit of football stuff to talk about at the end of the episode. You saw our DMs for the week, and you even answered to it. But let's get right into it first. A new rule came out that a video room is able to be accessed mid-game again. There's one guy that really, really hit hard with this year, and that was J.D. Martinez. J.D. had an atrocious year for J.D. standards, especially comparing him to 2018 J.D. J.D. Martinez had a terrible season. Adam, how do you think, with him having the video room again, do you think he's going to really, get right back to it the way he was before?
Well, do you think that was actually the reason why he didn't play well?
I think it had to do, I would say it was about 40%.
You think it was 40%? So you really think it was a factor as to why he had a down year?
I think it was insanely a factor. I never asked this, did you ever play baseball growing up?
I did, yes. I played from 6th grade all the way up until my senior year in high school. So I played quite a bit of ball. Nice.
So you know that, and when you hit, you need to have your certain, what do you call it? Not preparation, but you need to have the same routine every time you hit, right? Or else you feel something's going to be off, right? What's JD's? He goes down. He doesn't have to play in the field. He goes down to the video room, checks out what he liked, what he didn't like from the pitcher, what went wrong, and he's able to rebound from that for his next at bat. with taking that vital part of his routine out, it really screwed him. He had 213 numbers. He hit for 213. He even had a stolen base. Damn. How many homers did he have? He had 7 homers, 27 RBIs, 291 on-base percentage. Even Andrew Benintendi had a larger on-base percentage than that. It killed him.
All right. I mean, I'm sure it could have been a factor, but do you really think that it was an actual like a driving force for a reason why he went from batting around 300 into batting in the low 200s?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a huge drop off, and I feel like if you make it to the pros, you can do it without being able to watch video halfway through the game.
But I
just think
you realize how much of a competitive advantage that gives him, right?
Yeah, it sure does. It just feels like JD's a great hitter, and he should be able to play well without that. So I wonder if it could be a combination of a bunch of things. He was playing during the pandemic, where it was basically literally like the COVID year. So many things changed. I wonder if it was a combination of a bunch of things. And maybe we can't rule this out because he's getting up there in age. Maybe he's just starting to fall off a little bit. And maybe it's just a combination of so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
33, yeah.
Yeah.
But, some players don't,
Yeah. Do you remember when he was his 1 year in Arizona?
His 1 year in Arizona.
Yeah. In 2017, before he came to Boston. I did not remember that at all, I'm not going to lie to you.
I do. He hit 4 home runs that one game.
Oh, damn. I cannot see him in a Diamondbacks uniform for the life of me.
I can see him in a Diamondbacks uniform more than I can see him in an Astros uniform, to be honest.
Oh, that was young JD, though. I mean, he
and
was
also even on Detroit, I just can't see it. I can only see Arizona, to be honest.
I see him in Detroit with who else was in Detroit with him? Was it Price that was in Detroit with him?
I believe so. Yeah, Price had 1 year where he was in Detroit, 2 years. It wasn't very long. Yeah. Most of Price's years were in Tampa and Boston.
Yeah. But I'm going to give you some of his projected stats for next year, and just tell me over or under, okay?
Sure.
Let's go with hits, 143.
Over.
You think he's going to hit more than 143 hits in 160? Let's say he plays.
From which? I'm sorry. From which year? From
for next year.
Okay.
This is for next year. Do you think he has? Let's assume that he sits some games. He doesn't play a full 162. Let's say he plays 150. Do you think he hits more than 143 hits?
I think it's possible.
If you were betting, man, are you taking the over or the under?
I'll take the over.
You're taking the over? I feel like I'm taking the slight over. I would say probably 150 hits in 150 games.
Yeah, I think that's manageable.
Mm-hmm. 30 doubles.
I'd go over, slightly over.
Slightly over. I'm going to say the same thing. Usually with JD, he ain't hitting for contact. He hitting that ball at the monster every time.
Yeah, and that monster has been a tool for him for most of his time while he's been here.
I
feel like that's never going to. Oh yeah, that one game we went to, he was this close to hitting a home run. I still can't believe that.
Walk-off homer. And then I think it was Chavis got thrown out at home to end the game, and that was sad.
It was a weird feel during that game. It just felt like the Red Sox were not going to win that game. And strangely enough, in the bottom of the ninth, they almost did.
Yeah.
It was just a crazy, weird game. Yep. I'm glad I got
The score was, you're welcome, by the way.
Yeah.
You're lucky your boy scored 2 seats on top of the monster. And my little sister
can't believe you got those.
I got them hella cheap, too. Those were only $80 a pop.
Yeah, that's crazy. I went the next day too in the center field stand.
Oh yeah. You were telling me against the Yanks.
Yeah, I think they won that game too. It was awesome. We got to go with I went with 2 Yankee fans, and they were chirping at all the fans throughout the game. It was Brian and this other kid James. Brian, you know him. You know he's going to be chirping half the game, and he was also bleep faced.
Of course he was. We will not mention Brian's age, but
blacked out. Well, we won't mention his age. We
are not held legally responsible.
Yeah, he's his age is anonymous.
Yes.
So we'll keep it at that.
But with the Twins game, you remember who got the only score of the game?
For the Red Sox, Mookie Betts
Hit the pesky pole. Beautiful. Yeah. It's a beautiful hit.
That looked like a foul ball at first. Then next thing you know, he's rounding the bases like, oh, home run.
Yep. No, that game was amazing. And then remember we met that really hot girl on the train back. That was awesome.
Did we?
Yeah, you don't remember that? On the train back, we were sitting with 3 other people. It was this really hot girl and then this elderly couple next to us.
I remember seeing a 6, but I don't remember a really hot girl.
Yeah, she was like Greek or something like that. You don't remember that? She had some sort of Greek last name. You were sitting to my left, she was sitting to my right, and I'm like,
I don't remember.
How you doing?
So that's why you were talking. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta remember these things. All right. Last one I want to get the over under on for you is homers, 29. So you hit more than 29.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go slightly under.
You're going to go under. You think his regression's that much?
I think he's going – see, I think he's still going to have a down year by his standards. I think he's not going to have the year he had this past year, the COVID year.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll return back to what he was pre-COVID in 2019, 2018 when he had a great year as well.
Oh, he's never getting back to 2018. That's impossible.
See, if he was still in his prime, he could. I think he could.
2018 was just that good. That was like Manny Ramirez-esque kind of year.
That was him and Mookie Betts they were just that dynamic duo. They were consistently hitting home runs. Mookie won MVP that year.
JD came in 4th.
JD was a candidate as well. And everybody was having a career year that year. That will always, that year, along with 2013 for me, will always have a special place in my heart.
100%.
We're gonna miss those days.
I'm going to say the slightly over, though, on the over for home runs. I'm going to say slightly over. I'm saying 33.
33?
33 homers for him. So I think it's reasonable. I think he could hit 33 home runs when he has their projected 500 at bats. I think he can get 33.
Yes.
One more important one that I forgot about: batting average. Over or under on a 278.
Under.
You're saying under. I gotta agree.
Low 270s, upper 260s. I think.
I'm right. I'm right there with you. I was gonna say like a 272.
Yeah, around there. I think like low upper 260s.
Yep.
Around
okay.
There.
While I'm on the subject of over-unders, I want to do Andrew Benintendi real quick.
Oh, my God.
Have to do it. All right. Over-under on hits is 76.
I'm going over.
You're going to say the over? I want to say that's generously low. I'm going to say he hits like 85.
I'm going way over that. I think he's going to have a bounce-back year.
But the question is he playing every game? How many games is he actually playing? Is he even going to play 100 games? How much does Kyle trust him?
I have no idea, but I trust him a little more than you do.
That's an understatement.
Oh, a lot more. I also find it interesting how you think the COVID year affected JD Martinez so much that you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But when it comes to Benintendi, you don't think he had the COVID year at all.
The video room affected JD that much.
The video, see, that's
right,
another thing.
That's not the COVID year. All right, Andrew Benintendi died and had to fake an injury to get out of it.
He didn't die. He's alive.
He died baseball-wise, right?
Baseball-wise.
Home runs 8.
Come on. He has to have another bad year for you to be able to say he sucks. But I think for most of his career up until this one season, he's been a solid player for the most part. He's not the number 7 pick like he was supposed to be. He's not that guy, that star player, but he's still for most of his career been a pretty solid player. I think this past season gives him a bad rep.
Yeah. 8 home runs.
I'm gonna go over.
You're gonna go over.
Slightly over 10.
I'm saying it. I can't say the over and under. I'm gonna say it's somewhere in between like 6 and 10.
6 and 10. So you think it's just gonna be in that range?
I think I'll call that just right.
I think 10 to 12.
Stolen base is 7. Do you think he gets more than 7 this year?
Yes.
You're saying over?
He's fast enough.
I'll give him the. I'll say he'll get it like 12 or 13.
He has the speed. Even if he can't hit, I think it's a given that he's just that fast. When he gets on base, he can steal.
Mm-hmm. All right, big one. Batting average 263. I'm going extremely lower.
Batting average 216.
Yep.
And you're extremely low.
263.
263?
Yes.
I think it's right there.
I don't think he hits above 240.
I think he can get there.
I don't know how we talk about Andrew Benintendi literally every possible episode.
You hate him. You bully him every episode.
Yes.
I'm just trying to come to his defense.
Okay, let's move on. Let's stop hating on Benintendi. Okay.
All right.
So, at the trade deadline last year, we got Nick Pivetta, right? Traded away Workman and Hembry. Hembry ended up doing great on the Phillies. Workman sucked. We ended up getting Pivetta and Seabold, right? With Nick Pivetta, there was one team at the deadline that was aggressively going after him, and that was the Rays. And you know how well the Rays like their underrated talent. You know, young guys who haven't really gotten a shot yet.
Then again, they lost Chaim Bloom, so they kind of don't have that quite as much anymore. And you can clearly see that Chaim Bloom is trying to do that to the Red Sox. And
yeah, but you see what the Rays did without Chaim.
Well, yeah, that's 1 year removed though. They still have a lot of his work. They have a lot of his guys on that team.
Yeah, but you don't think at least the people? I don't know who stepped into
I think they are,
but I still think they can really have an eye for that because small market team, they need to. That's the only way you're going to survive.
They have to. So does Oakland, but they've been so up and down. I still can't believe there's a movie for Billy Beane and not Theo Epstein or Chaim Bloom.
Yeah, there was just a huge race to see who could offer more to the Phillies for Pivetta. For obviously the Red Sox won it. The thing is, they are comparing him to another great pitcher. They're saying he could be like another great pitcher in the next couple of years, and that's Tyler Glasnow. They think that Pivetta could be the next Tyler Glasnow. And honestly, he's already 27. I don't know if I see him progressing to Glasnow status, you know?
I don't know. Tampa Bay kind of has an eye for underrated talent, especially when it comes to pitching. They always put out a good pitching staff.
Yes.
Somehow. Out of nowhere. They just like rabbit out of a hat. And it's incredible. I wish the Red Sox had that kind of eye for talent. They only have it for hitters. And if they could just have, to a degree, just half of what Tampa has, then they could have won a few more championships by now.
Oh, 100%.
You know, it says something when your best pitcher in the past, how long? 13 years that you've developed is Clay Buchholz?
I thought it was Brian Johnson, but...
No, it's Clay Buchholz. Clay Buchholz is way better than Brian Johnson.
Clay Buchholz had one good year. At least Brian Johnson's been consistent.
No, look up his stats. He's been very up and down, extremely inconsistent. Believe me, he pisses me off as much as anybody. But
you're telling me you wouldn't want. Would you want Brian Johnson on the 2020 team instead of him getting released?
Would I want Brian Johnson on the 2020 team?
Yes,
I would rather.
He was on the team.
I think I'd rather take the gamble that Buchholz can be a number one guy because every once in a while he does. It's weird with Buchholz. He's either a number one guy, your unquestioned ace, or he's a number 5 and he's borderline like not even going to be in your starting lineup. Mm-hmm. It's weird with him, yes. And I hate it. I'm glad that guy's gone. I know that contradicts my argument, but I think I'd rather take him than Brian Johnson because I feel like you know what you're going to get from him. With Buchholz, you could actually get a star pitcher for like half a year.
Yep. So we just got some breaking news that I need to talk about before we go any further. The Red Sox are in agreement with Japanese relief pitcher Hirokazu Sawamura. 2-year deal worth $2.4 million. You know who they're comparing?
What's the comparison?
Koji.
I mean, if they get that, then look for a 2013 season. I hope.
No, they don't have the power yet.
Well, we didn't think the 2013 team had the power. We thought it was going to be 2012 Part 2. And they wound up with this dream season. Like, good Lord, do I wish I could be in 2013 again. Without a few bad things happening. But you get what I mean.
Yeah. Let me look up his stats while I'm here. Apparently he can hit 99 with his fastball. And he has a insane splitter.
How old is he?
32. Almost 33.
So he might have a few more years. I wonder how he's going to play once that fastball starts to dip in velocity. Mm-hmm.
I mean, for 2020, we're looking at a 3.05 ERA. No games started. He's not a closer. He's not a starter. He's just a middle relief guy, basically. He'll pitch about an inning a game.
He's a middle relief.
He's like the role that Matt Barnes should be playing, like a 7th, 8th inning guy.
That's setup, man.
That's what it's looking like. It looks like he has a good strikeout ratio, but a terrible walk ratio from last year. That's what we're looking at. He walks a lot of guys, but he strikes out a lot. A whip of 135 from last year, which is good. It's not great.
So average. Just from what you're telling me, it sounds like he's one of those guys that just hucks it out of his rear end and just hopes that he hits the strike zone. It seems like kind of a guy who just can't throw strikes. Kind of reminds me of almost
Koji.
Now, yeah, Koji, except his fastball is like 20 miles an hour faster.
Koji was lucky. If he popped some steroids in, he was hitting 84. That's about where Koji was.
Basically. His fastball, I remember, by the end of his career was like 79 miles an hour, and he was still getting guys out. I still have no idea how he did that.
Just a good location. But now we got a guy who doesn't seem like he can hit his spots that well. Which, I mean, if you think about it, that's just an overseas Ryan Brazier with a splitter.
Yeah.
Yikes. I don't like that. I just put out a post on Ryan Brazier today asking people, like, what's his role on this team? Like, with all the things we got from him. Let me look at what the people have said about Brazier. Someone said he should be our closer. I'm not joking. It says, and I quote, he should be our closer.
He has a point, to an extent.
No!
On the team that we have?
No!
Who do you think should be our closer? Do you really think Brandon Workman could be a better closer than this guy who
if
could
they were to
bring
sign
more
Brandon
to the table?
Workman, yes, but we kind of got this guy named Adam Ottavino.
I need to see it from Adam Ottavino that he can actually put together a good season.
Mm-hmm. And then this other guy named A Bloop and a Blast, used to write for me and still will occasionally. He said, if I have to guess, probably middle innings guy, not expected to pitch multiple innings per outing, but can be counted on when needed. And I kind of see that. If you need somebody to come in the 6th and get somebody out, that's the perfect spot for him. Right? He's not going to be someone you want in the later innings. He just can't handle the pressure.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know how we got to Brazier from where I was going, but let's get back into our regularly scheduled news. Yeah, this guy's just another guy, so it doesn't look like a Jake Odorizzi's coming. It seems like we were at our max for Major League guys at this point, which sucks, but we can work with what we got. Yeah, maybe if we're lucky.
They'll be better than they were last year, but I don't know. I'm so upset about the Red Sox nowadays. It's just a full out rebuild, and
sometimes you need that. You can't.
I want them to be good again.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a championship in 2023 or 2024.
We need to make the Red Sox great again.
No, you just got me demonetized. Thank you. You just got an extra 5 dislikes on this episode. Thank you for that.
Well, we're talking about the Red Sox, not politics.
Yeah. So here's what we've found. All right. The start of spring training dates have been announced. And for our Red Sox, stop touching your mic. Stop it. Get some help.
Okay.
All right. Our Red Sox are starting off on Thursday, February 18th. Pitchers are showing up, and February 22nd is when I think everyone else is showing up. Yep, pitchers and catchers are on the 18th, everyone else on the 22nd.
And their opening day is scheduled for April 1st, right? So it's like business as usual. It almost feels like
it is. It's business
as usual. It's just returning to normal again. This is probably the best news I've received
in a while.
Yeah.
We're not what was I going to say? We're not going back. We're not going to have as many fans, obviously, but we're still going to have some fans at most games.
We're going to a game.
We have to. That's not a. Actually, while we're here, just let me just look online real quick and see what we're looking at as we're talking. But yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for something to for us to go to a game again. I mean, tickets are probably going to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah, but we'll bite the bullet for now.
Oh.
What are we looking at?
We can't do that day. Damn it. All the days that are... that one's expensive. We can go to some games.
Which games?
Why do all the weekday games have to be in the afternoon?
Just pick a weekend day and we'll take the train over.
Yeah, but the tickets are going to be so much more expensive on weekends than weekdays. Oh. Monday, April 12th. No, that's at Target Field. God damn it. I want games at Fenway Park.
Let's just fly out. Just go to Target Field. We'll fly over to Minnesota.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Oh, it's an awesome idea. I love it.
Why are all their games at 1:05 p.m.? Every Red Sox game is at 1:05 p.m. at home. Literally every Red Sox game. That's nuts. So we have to just bite the bullet and go to a more expensive weekend game. We can do that though. That's not. They're only a little bit more expensive.
Weekend games are more fun. You can go during the afternoon, take a stop at the Cask and Flagon. Have you ever been there?
No.
Cask? Oh, you got to go there. That's an iconic place to go to.
We can go Sunday the 4th, 1:05 p.m. against the O's.
Against the Orioles?
I'm kind of down for that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll do it. The only team in the AL East that we're better than. So
we might actually watch a win.
Maybe we could. I'll take it. If we lose, I wouldn't be surprised either, because rebuilding times are tough.
I mean, we ain't gonna get insanely great seats, but there are these seats that are kind of. If you look at the first baseline, and here's home plate, here's the first baseline. If you can see that. Come down and keep going past the grandstands. That's a good seat for only $68 each.
Yeah. That's not bad.
And plus, there's not going to be as many fans, so we're going to have better views.
I can actually get veterans discount with for my dad. He just says just pay me back, and then we can get a discount for the tickets. So we could actually get them even cheaper than that.
That's sick.
Like, we used to be able to get our tickets for like $19. Damn. It was awesome.
All right. The fans don't want to hear us ramble about us going to a game. All right. We'll get that when that happens. All right.
We should live stream when we go to a game.
We will. That's illegal.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So we had some major news come out this week on the 8th. Turns out the MLB will change the way their baseballs are made after record home run rates. All right. So this is their way of saying, without saying it, that they've been juicing the baseballs to get better performance from the batters.
That's a good point. They could have actually been doing that just to get the offensive numbers up. So maybe they were doing something like that. I mean, the MLB is a private organization, so they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, because let me tell you this. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, for how long we had it, those were 5 out of the 6 highest home run rates in baseball history. The only other one was in 2000, and that was, steroid time.
Time. Mark McGwire versus Sammy Sosa.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So considering that, we've been really testing on steroids. So it's not the steroids. It's not because pitchers have gotten worse. Pitchers are obviously better. It's because they've been juicing the baseball. So now they've basically come out and said, yeah, we're not juicing the baseballs anymore, so pitchers actually have their fair advantage. And let me look if I can find something. David Price put out a post on this. So David Price said, did I see MLB is slightly deadening the baseball? I thought MLB said it hadn't been juiced. LOL, pitchers knew all along. Baseball has had a different feel and a different sound. Happy to see they're attempting to get back to regular baseball. Mike Trout responded with like 5 crying while laughing emojis. And David Price just said, LOL, I think you'll still be all right.
The only thing that's not surprising about that is David Price complaining about something.
I thought that would have been Joe Kelly.
Yeah, but
Joe Kelly always finds something to complain about.
You've never heard David Price talk, then, haven't you? Good Lord, that guy.
David Price,
yeah,
David
that's not the
Eckersley
way it goes.
thing.
You're just acting like you're bigger than the game of baseball. Oh.
Yep.
Cry me a river. Ugh.
Wasn't it him against Eckersley, like 2019?
Yeah, he said, "Get the bleep out of here." And he had the whole team. He had the whole team clap while he kind of just bullied Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah,
that's a good way to turn all of the fans against you. To try and call out Dennis Eckersley like that.
Don't worry.
You know how much the fan base loves Eck.
Mm-hmm. But here's my question for you. Do you think the game of baseball is going to go down in value after we're not going to have obviously as many home runs?
I mean, I think we need to I don't think it's a matter of like the way the game has been played. Even in the past 20 years, I would say it's more so the length. I think the game has gotten so slow. The average time has not changed. Now, I know a lot of traditional baseball fans are against the pitch clock, but honestly, me personally, I think if you add like say a 15, 20 second pitch clock, I think it'll get the it'll make the games go faster. And number 2, it will it works. We see it in the minor leagues, and the game moves.
Minor leagues are
and
the guinea pigs.
I think the faster pace we can get this game to go, the more fans will come back, because I think we have a very interesting game, a very fun game to watch. You and I, as baseball fans, can agree we have a very fun game We love watching baseball. There's a reason why you and I played back in high school.
Yeah, and I still want
So
to play in college.
we want this game to rejuvenate in popularity. Okay, this game is too beautiful to die out the way boxing did. You know, like this isn't golf. This is baseball. This is fun. We love seeing all these walk-off plays. We love seeing doubles off the walls, diving catches, stolen bases. Even bunts are fun sometimes.
Yes.
They're cool. They're cool. They're part of they're the small things in the game, running things out. We don't see anybody enjoying that, appreciating that anymore. Chicks dig the long ball now, rightfully so. But you know what? We need all of this.
Hey,
and I think it all comes down to pace of play.
I can agree there. And I'm going to say this, if people were just watching for the home runs, then they're not real fans of baseball. There's so much more to the game, especially from a coaching perspective, than just hitting a long ball. All right, that's a very Yankee style of play, and we hate Yankee style of play. All right, Yankee style of play is we hit the long ball or we hit nothing. You know, let me say this: the defense might get you paid, but the long ball gets you laid. All right, that's about all there is to it.
Why not have a little both?
Exactly. You know, you get rid of the juice baseballs, home runs are still going to be a thing. All right, it's not like we're just taking home runs away from the sport in general. Home runs are still going to be a thing. They're just going to be less. Teams are going to have to more focus on their defense, their pitching, their stealing, their base running aggressiveness. Their everything. Everything else is going to have to go up instead of just being, okay, how am I going to hit a home run this time? You know?
It'll come down to more the actual fundamentals of the game rather than just bringing in these bozos like Joey Gallo or Giancarlo Stanton who just slam the ball 450 feet and then wind up batting like $150. I hate players like that. I don't hate the players. I hate when they do that.
Yeah, you hate their play style.
Yeah, I hate their play style. It's just annoying and they strike out literally 90% of the time.
Yeah, and that's good for fans like you and me who love the intricacies of the game. You know, we love the little things about the game because we're that much diehard fans. You're giving those diehard fans something to root for again, while still saying to those new fans that just really like the long ball and the big exciting plays, we still have that for you. We just need to cut it down a little less to make sure the game is fair for our pitchers. You know, pitchers' numbers have been just up this year. And it's been bad for them because obviously pitchers are trying to do better, but when you give them a disadvantage, they're going to do worse.
Yeah.
That's simple. But with this, with the 162 game season officially coming out, the MLB now put in some more protocols and stuff. Some stuff is back from next season and some stuff is gone. For example, 7-inning doubleheaders are still a thing.
I don't like that.
I'm indifferent on it. I think if you're a MLB team, you should be competent enough and have the roster enough to go 2 9s in a row, as long as that's like a twice a month thing, maximum.
I don't like it. I still would rather go with the full 9-inning doubleheaders. Call me just a baseball player who just loves baseball and or one of the older fans, but I'm still fixed on traditional fan. But that's kind of just the way it is. Just baseball. It happens every day, and it's a full 9-inning game, and we can just wake up every morning and watch the game. And when a game gets rained out, we can actually get a full 9-inning game like we were supposed to on that day. You know, the thing I love most about baseball and like any sport really is sports are always there for you.
Yes.
You know, and when they never let you down. Whenever they rain out or it gets canceled for a game, they make it up to you.
Yeah, you get your ticket price back, and you get to go on a different day.
They'll always be there for you. Can you say that about your girlfriend or your wife? Hell no. You can't.
We just made this personal for about half our audience. All right, you don't understand what you just did.
I'm sorry, viewers. I didn't mean to hit this close to home, but you know, It's kind of true.
To offend everyone. Okay.
But this makes people want to watch baseball. This makes people want to watch sports. It's a distraction. It's something that you can always, after a tough day, you can just kick back and watch it.
Yes.
You know,
it's an everyday thing. You get to see your team play 6 times a week.
Exactly. You can't really say that about any other sport.
Basketball
Basketball and hockey, they play every other day.
Yeah, you get them maybe 4 times a week if you're lucky. Football, you see once a week.
I mean, it's the same concept, you know. Like they're always, you know, the Patriots are going to be playing every Sunday. You know, the Celtics are going to be playing every other day. You know, the hockey, they're going to be there every other day.
Okay.
And I think it's important not to cancel any games or to, and when you do make them up, make them be the full games. Don't give me this 7-inning crap.
Yep.
And I think as to some of the other rule changes that are staying, like having a guy on second base and extra innings, I hate that too. That's out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if you want to speed up the game like that, you put him on first. So that way you still let the pitcher have an opportunity at a double play.
Or just
bring
in the pitch clock.
Yeah. Or the hitting team sacrifice bunts, then you got a guy on second with 1 out. Or you could start that way and have a guy on second with 1 out. You know, I just don't like on second with no outs because all you have to do, sacrifice bunt to the right, that guy's on third, fly ball, sac fly, he scores. It's so easy to score somebody from second with no outs. For a pitcher, you need to be insanely skilled to be able to get out of that situation. I know it's the same for both teams, but it really doesn't help anything. It needs to be a runner on first with no outs or a runner on second with 1 out.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have I don't know. I'd rather just keep it the way it is and then try to find a way to
make the game
bring in some small things to just make the game as a whole faster, not just change up the entire fundamentals of the where does this end? Are we going to start going with just 2-out innings? Are we going to start going with loaded bases put more guys on base as the extra innings continue to go, like 1 person on first in the first extra inning, 2 people on in the second inning, or you keep on just adding on players where are you going to stop at that point? You're just changing the game from where it is.
Yeah, you're leaving everything up to discretion. We need to just keep some solid rules here. And if we had a pitch clock, that's not necessarily the only thing it's kind of screwing with is the batter's ability to get themselves refocused and the pitcher to decide what pitch they want. The catcher needs to be on his A game about what pitch he knows he wants to throw.
Exactly.
You know, it's that simple. But there will not be a universal DH like there was last season. I'm a little bit indifferent because I like watching pitchers be able to hit, and I like watching managers have to make those tough decisions. But I'm indifferent on it. If they wanted to have a universal DH, I wasn't going to complain. I think it'd still be better for the game because you'd have those home run loving fans have a better chance of seeing that, you know.
It means more offense, yeah. I don't know. I've just grown so accustomed to seeing it. I can't see a world without the universal, without pitchers hitting in the National League. And I think it's interesting whenever the Red Sox go and visit, say, the Braves or the Cardinals, and they have like John Lester batting. They have Chris Sale in his twig-like body
trying to hit a baseball single to right.
And when they do hit a single, then, oh, my God, it's amazing.
It's a beautiful thing. So the last rule, active rosters will now consist of 26 players like they did last year. But once we hit September 1st, we'll be expanding to 28. So they can bring up 2 minor league players to them. And on note, each team at all times will be allowed to carry up to 5 taxi squad players, which means if one player gets COVID, you can take one of those taxi squad players and bring them up into the lineup.
I think taxi squad sounds good. I don't know about 26 guys on the roster. It's always been 25. I've never seen an issue with that. You see, I feel like we're just opening a door to just changing the game completely, and it's like some of it's just not necessary. People are making changes just for the sake of changing. Yes. And I think maybe we just need to we need to keep the game the way it is. Like, we're still playing baseball. Are we going to start taking bases away too? Is that what's going to happen? Are we going to take positions off the field? We're going to have 8. We're going to have 8 people on the field? Are we going to have 10 so that we can get more outs and make the game move faster? It's just going to get insane. Like, just making changes just for the sake of making them, and make some changes when it's necessary that actually help with the pace of play. Don't just change up the game as it is. Like, it doesn't even feel like we're playing baseball anymore.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Like, in football, if that game gets too slow, are we just going to start going with 3 downs instead of 4 downs? Like, how is that going to work? Like, you're just making things it's stupid. Leave the game as it is.
Yeah. Calm yourself. Deep breaths. All right. Deep breaths. But with that being said, we are running slightly long. I got one more piece of news that I want to get back into. I wouldn't call him a legend, but very prominent player of our childhood, Ryan Braun. All right. The Brewers declined his team option for this year. So he is a free agent, but he's not opposed to just sitting out this year and maybe retiring. Now, I don't know about you, but that would be insanely sad for me if Ryan Braun calls it a career. I'm not ready for that yet.
For me, with Ryan Braun, he kind of has a poor taste in my mouth.
Why is that?
Because he took steroids.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to, like, it's the same thing with Alex Rodriguez. As fun as he is kind of to listen to in the broadcast booth, I think, I just can't get it out of my head that he took steroids. Mm-hmm. And I know it feels a lot more normal in other sports like the NFL. You don't really see it in maybe it's just just the way baseball is, kind of like where you hear a player's taking steroids. It just gives you such a negative impact. Like Barry Bonds, people forget everybody loved Barry Bonds when he was, before they were suspecting steroids. Then that whole scandal started to unfold. He started to get defensive. People started to hate him more, and mm-hmm. It just has that scar in the game that it may never go away. It's kind of because of that whole steroid era where players were inflated like baseball, bicycle pumps.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But looking at his numbers throughout his career, like Rookie of the Year, 1 MVP, came top 3 in MVP voting 2 more times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Silver Sluggers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 All-Star games. Dude had a great career. If it's time to call it quits, because last year he really, really fell off with a 233 batting average and a 281 on base. Still could really hit the ball. Still had 8 home runs in 129 at bats. He can still slugging of a 488.
How old is he again?
37.
37. So I mean, that's possible. I know. Depends on the position. I'm so used to watching Tom Brady in football just win Super Bowls at age 43. So it's, I'm more used to like cyborg humans like David Ortiz hitting over 30 home runs at age 40. Yep. But that's still, you forget it's hard to play that at that level, that high of a level at in your late 30s. And I think, those are pretty good numbers.
Yep. And here's the thing, he's only been to the playoffs 4-5 different times in his career. Right? First time, he was against the Phillies, lost in the first round in 2008. In 2011, they won to the Cards, lost to St. Louis. In 2018, they won to Colorado, lost to the Dodgers. 2019, lost to Nationals. 2020, lost to the Dodgers. It's been not a great road for them.
Yeah.
Or not a great road for him in the playoffs. Never really won anything of value. You can only say he got second round at best.
Milwaukee never really made the playoffs that often anyways.
Yeah.
Really. They made it back in 2018, and I believe that was about it. They made it one other time, I believe. A couple other times. But they didn't really make it that often.
Mm-hmm. What was I going to say? Okay. So let me get into our DMs of the week, because I had a very, very big question for the people. Obviously, we had a very big game for this year, or obviously a Super Bowl. So I asked the people, I said, with Tom Brady winning his 7th, how many is he going to end with? Right. Most people, I had a lot of responses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I believe I responded to that as
Seven,
well. I said
7
8.
people. So you and 6 others said 8. All right,
That's
so
going bold
people.
though for me. I think it's going to be hard. There's a reason why not many teams have gone on to repeat as world champions.
Yep. My boy Jacob Musgrove said 8. One for the ride and H28MC both said 10.
How many people said 10?
2.
Well, they're
One person said 54.
good man. High expectations.
I had TJB 4031 say 7, and my boy who listens to every episode, JD, said 7. I don't think the Bucks win again. Then I have him signing a 1 year with the 49ers and retiring.
49. That's bold.
Hometown team. I get it, but I don't think they let go of Jimmy G in the time that it takes Tom Brady to retire.
You know, I was fantasizing about this, about the Brady before the Super Bowl. Imagine if they lose next year. Brady decides, let's screw it, I'm leaving. He goes back to New England, and Brady and Belichick win another title together, and then they call it quits.
But they both call it quits at the same time.
What type of a story would that be?
That'd be beautiful.
That'd be poetic.
That would. You couldn't write that better in a Hollywood movie.
You couldn't write it better than The Last Dance and the Chicago Bulls. That was a good documentary.
That was
imagine the documentaries that would draw.
Yep.
That would be just
So I have a question. Though. If Brady goes on to win his 8th with the Bucks, what are the chances he calls it quits? Either if it's next year or 2 years from now.
0.
You think he doesn't leave on top?
I think when he consistently has said throughout his career he wants to play till he sucks, and the fact that he was willing to go to a new team at age 43 to prove it, when he does something like that, I think he's going to continue to play this out, and he's going to go out kicking and screaming. Whether that's next year, the year after that, or the year after that, I think he's going to keep playing until he actually absolutely sucks.
Yep. Here's the thing, though. Does he get a Sheriff's Last Ride moment?
No.
Where he still sucks, but the team around him is so great that they're able to carry him to a Super Bowl.
It's a possibility. I mean, that defense is still good, but it's nowhere near the 15 Broncos defense where they were just able to carry Peyton Manning. And forget that the rest of that roster on offense was also good. They were able to win games with Brock Osweiler at quarterback.
Yep. And I mean, I'd hate to say it, but Taylor Heineke and the football team played better against the Bucks than the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes did.
Yeah, you mentioned that's a hot take, but it's actually it couldn't be more true.
Yeah.
Statistically, at least.
Y'all got to go listen to the Fumble Risky podcast dropped in the same day as this. That was a funny episode. It
was a good one.
I had to leave with 10 minutes left in the episode because people made me do my job, and that sucked. But whatever. So what am I need from you, Adam, before we head off? I need one good thing that's happened this week. Go.
One good thing. I think you know what I'm going to say.
Uh-oh.
I think you know what I'm going to say. And honestly, if you saw some highlights from that parade, that's all we need to know.
Brady's hammered.
Tom Brady got hammered, which I never thought I would see. Because with the health nut that he is, you had him also tossing the trophy across the river into the other boat, and everybody was like, "Oh no!"
Imagine they don't catch that and that falls in the river. That thing's not floating. Gronk's going in and saving that.
Somebody's gonna dive in and save that, and that would have made amazing television to see that.
That would have been better than the college football team that broke their bowl trophy. You remember that? They were dancing with the trophy, and the trophy fell off the stand and broke into a million pieces.
Or when the one thing that came to mind when I heard about that Brady just tossed the Super Bowl trophy was when the New England Patriots took the trophy to Fenway Park on
And they bunted
their
with the
opening day
trophy.
store, and they were in the batting cages, and Gronkowski, while he squares one up, and he dented it. They never fixed it either. They were just like, you know what? This is kind of funny. We need to keep
this works. Yep. So
Rob Gronkowski is the Thad Castle of football.
yes,
He's a real life Thad Castle.
it's a beautiful.
If you've ever seen Blue Mountain State,
I haven't, but I know the reference you're talking about.
he's an interesting guy.
So I got two great things that happened this week. One is baseball, which I said it never did, but this has just got to be said. Yachty and Wainwright are back for one last ride, and I love it. All right, we grew up watching Yachty and Wainwright, 16 years now. All right, that duo has been arguably one of the best in baseball throughout that time.
Absolutely.
And not I wouldn't say necessarily the best, they've just been the most consistent.
No, Yachty or Molina has been a beast. You don't often come across pitchers who can hit. Honestly, in the past, like, say 10, 15 years, the only two guys we've had consistently are Yachty or Molina and Buster Posey, to be honest.
And Posey's basically on the way out.
I might be missing some guys, but for the most part, that's what we've had.
Yeah.
And it's been a pleasure.
Put David Ross up there?
No. I love David Ross to death, but he could not hit to save his life. That's
an understatement. But my second one is football related. Our boy Taylor Heineke got his 2-year deal worth $8 million. He is back with the football team. And honestly, depending on how they use him, that could be a good deal.
It could. I mean, this doesn't guarantee him a starting spot, I think, but it's certainly not out of the question that he's in the mix.
Alex Smith is 36 years old at this point.
I know, but they might give him another shot.
I mean, he's owed $20-something million next year, so.
And they could go pick up another. What's that?
Is that Brian?
Is that Brian? Jesus, Brian.
Of course it is. All right. For anyone who goes and listens to the Fumblerooski podcast, ignore the two people you will see behind him. Tell them to shut up. We're still recording.
Oh, that's actually Trevor.
Oh, damn it! I was hoping to yell at Brian for a minute, but y'all will see them in the Fumblerooski podcast if you guys go and check that out. And please do. It is a great and funny show. These guys are finally starting to get their bearings underneath them. 10 episodes in. He needs to stop using a script. But
the script helps. It helps.
It really didn't. You literally never refer to the script unless you were changing topics.
Actually, I kind of did.
The conversation just flowed.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I have the script. It's there. It's like a binky. It's there, but it's or like training wheels. It's there.
No. Just stop. Stop before you embarrass yourself more. Just stop.
I have my map about what I'm going to do.
Stop it.
I'm organized.
You will never see another good podcast host have a script with them, okay? It's completely off the tongue. It's riffing, okay? With that being said, once again, go follow that Fumblerooski podcast. It is great. Thank you guys so much for watching. Adam, you got anything else you want to say to the people before we head off?
Go follow the Fumblerooski podcast.
Check us out. Already said that 45 minutes ago.
Well, I'm saying it again, just in case people forgot. Go check us out, Fumblerooski Podcast. Go follow us on Instagram at Fumblerooski_podcast. And
we'll be out.
Hit us up on YouTube. Subscribe.
We'll be out on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play very soon, correct?
Of course.
Hopefully we can get that done this weekend.
Oh, definitely.
All right, we'll get that done this weekend for you guys. So you guys can catch them on Spotify, and we'll watch them blow up along with this podcast, hopefully. Once again, we love you guys. God bless you. Make sure you keep him close. I'll see you guys in the next one.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night pinning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open. They start to notice that I'm in motion. There is no potion, you're not just chosen. It takes devotion to stay composed, man. Never stop, there ain't no time to fall. Try to live, get it all, you got one life to ball. Thinking big, never small, cause you gotta want it all. When you finally get that call, you get ready, take it on. Need a handout, I already stand out. Starting to advance now, ready to expand now. You don't have a chance now, cause we're in demand now. Make it by the grand now, feeling in command now. They're looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.